No one should be accused of harassment or molestation. Absolutely no one should be wrongly accused of harassment or molestation. At the same time, no one should be harassed sexually by any other person, either from a man or from a woman. That brings me to the current trending issue pertaining the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, and Senator Natasha. Last week and over the weekend, their issue took over the internet. And I promised myself that I was going to come here and talk and give my opinion on the matter. I would assume, and I've seen a lot of comments on social media saying, why is Senator Natasha just talking about it? Why is she just coming out? Absolutely no one also has a right to control her narrative. Please listen to me again. Absolutely nobody has a right to control Senator Natasha's narrative on when she's going to complain that somebody sexually assaulted her or harassed her, on how she will complain about it. Now, the issue, I'm here not supporting anybody. I'm not supporting Senator Natasha, and I'm not supporting Senator Akpabio. What I, as a person, want is that justice should take its course. Now, people say, oh, why is she the only one being harassed, complaining of her being harassed? I'm sure we've heard something that we call pretty privilege. Pretty privilege is when a beautiful woman gets things done. She needs a job, she gets the job. She needs a car, she gets the car. She needs a connection, she gets the connection. She gets into a building, everybody wants like, oh, hi, how are you? But what we fail to understand is that a pretty privilege is most times accompanied by sexual assault. And I speak from the standpoint of a woman. Pretty privilege, read my lips again. Pretty privilege is most times accompanied by sexual assault. Now, it means that most times pretty women, everybody, almost all men, and even men also, men that are fine, that are handsome, that's the pretty privilege. Men that are handsome, men that have money, get also harassed by women. They want to have a piece of you. A woman also wants to have a piece of a handsome man. And likewise, a man wants to have a piece of a beautiful woman. So, in this instance, she has accused, there has been accusations, there has been no counter accusation. Somebody came up and said, Senator Ireti actually came up and said, oh, she should have spoken to her. She has no right to speak to you. If she doesn't want to speak to you about it, then so be it. She doesn't owe you an explanation. And I don't think it is fair for Senator Ireti to say, oh, someone is like a daughter to her. She's not your daughter. Behind closed doors, she might be your daughter. You are old enough to be her mother. But as it stands, in the face of the Senate, in the face of Nigerian government, your colleagues, she's a senator, and you cannot undermine her person by referring to Senator Natasha, as your daughter. It is a bit degrading, even though normally, on a normal day, she would be in a situation to be like your daughter. Some people are saying, they've never experienced being harassed before. Maybe you're not that pretty. Maybe you're actually not that pretty. Women that have been in organizations that are pretty have experienced assault. I'm not saying that the Senate president has assaulted her. In fact, sometimes you see where a woman is being employed based on the fact that she's pretty. That's an assault, actually. If you look at it, that is an assault because being pretty should not be the only thing why a woman is employed. And most times when a woman is employed based on her looks, it is for sinister purposes. It's for purposes that, okay, when we put her forward, you understand, it gives us free access. It gives us easy access. What we want done is done. When we put this kind of woman forward. So I don't understand where people are bringing their narratives from. Senator Akpabio at the same time should not be wrongly accused. Should not be wrongly accused of harassing his colleague. And I think Senator Natasha should bring out evidences or sue him to court. Or if there's a committee, I think the protest it should first go through committee stage. But again, if you say it should go through committee stage, is it really binding? She can go directly to court and sue him. Because, I mean, what would I call it? Harassment. Harassment is a grave accusation and it should not be taken lightly. If I were Senator Akpabio, you know what I would do? I would step aside, let the Deputy Senate President take over, pending the investigation, yes? Yes? What do you mean of number 3 of no country? What do you mean of that? I'm just telling you the proper thing to do. If you're really sure of yourself, step aside, tell them to investigate you. It won't destabilize anything. People have been removed. President Obasanjo used how many Senate presidents? It did not destabilize anything. Yeah, excuse me, even when it should have even crumbled. It should have crumbled as at the time when democracy was young that President Obasanjo used about 3 from who was the last person? It was Ayin Paisayin was the last one. Then Wabara. Then after Wabara was before Wabara was Chuba Okadigbo. He used 3. And Nigeria did not crumble. So trying to say somebody is the one that can keep the peace of Nigeria together it's fallacy. It's fallacy. It's fallacy. Senator, the one that is currently in prison, what's his name? Madu is in prison and the war has not ended. His political friends have moved on. Nobody should think that Nigeria is going to be crumble if they suddenly disappear. So it's fallacy to say, number 3 citizen. It's all psychophancy for people to think you're important. You're important. But you're not more important than Nigeria. This is for public servants to always realize that when you go, you will be replaced. The world will not miss you. And that's the truth. Plenty people have gone. Obasofemi Awolowo has gone. Gen Alpha children, they don't even know who that is. They cannot even relate. Even I didn't meet Obafemi Awolowo. I only hear his stories from my parents and from the books we read. And I'm sorry to say, we don't miss him. My generation does not miss him. We can only hear the stories. So if I were the Senate president, I would step aside for proper investigation. Step aside for proper investigation. Submit yourself to the committees and say, okay, here, investigate me. And if Natasha has wrongly accused him, she should be charged to court on so many counts. On so many counts. And I'm happy both of them are lawyers. They know the implication. They know the process. Senator Akpabio is Senator Natasha senior at the bar. They know the process. They know the implication. But coming here for media frenzy, people accusing, some people were like, and she has been to 3 husbands. It doesn't matter if she has been to 10 husbands' houses. So far, willingly, she went to those 10 husbands' houses. So far, she willingly. It doesn't matter if a woman has been with 1,000 men. She has no right to be harassed. So far, she willingly wanted to be with 1,000 men. It's fine. Absolutely fine. Because the 1,000 men she's been with is with her consent. Also, women that harassment, that happens a lot also. But I think because men are most times willing to do it, it doesn't come off as harassment. If any woman harasses you sexually, please come up. If it makes you uncomfortable, but I know most Ibadan men will not come up. Because even the way they come up on social media, not even about your state general, they're saying, don't worry, she's not harassing me, leave it, she's only talking to me. I know you guys are, that's just bants. I'm banting with my people. So that's my position on this issue. It's not enough for us to castigate her and say, she's been to 4 husbands' houses, why is she just complaining? There are allegations. So if an allegation is brought out against you, it's for you to clear your name. And up to this point, Senator Akpabio has not spoken to the Nigerian people. I would believe he's innocent. And I would also believe that Natasha is saying the truth. It's for them to now show us the divides. Where who is wrong and where who is right. No woman, no man in government, at their place of work, at their homes, should be subjected to any form of harassment and victimization. Thank you.